Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Lefebvre, and today we are painting our final bouquet of the year. I don't know how, it is almost December, but it is. It's just, it flew by, and we are now on our last bouquet of the year. This is crazy. One thing I do want to say about this video, there is a part where I decide to add holly leaves into the bouquet, and then I quickly decide, this does not look good, so I fix it. So when you reach that part, don't follow that part because I will be taking it out, but I left it in because I wanted to show you how I would fix something that I decide just no longer looked good. So I left it in for you, but I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and yeah, let's jump right in and get started. Okay, so today we are doing our final watercolor bouquet of the year. We are on December's bouquet. I can't believe this year has gone so fast already and we're here, but we are. So today we are going to be doing some more traditional kind of December florals of, you know, reds and greens and whites, and maybe some pine and some pine cones and berries and all that fun stuff. So I am painting on my Arches cold pressed watercolor paper. I have my Winsor Newton professional watercolors with me and my Emma Lefebvre and Craftimo brushes in a size 6, 12, and 2. We'll see which ones I end up using. Water, paper towel, and we're ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to go with my traditional structure. I have seen in the comments that people are like, you're just doing the same bouquet with just different flower or different colors. And you know what? This is all about practice. I teach beginner watercolor. We're kind of practicing on how to balance a bouquet. Yes, we use a lot of the same florals. We are going to be changing it up with a bit of, like, you know, different pine and pine cones and stuff like that. But my method to my bouquets are pretty much the same, and doing them over and over again are just gonna, it's just gonna help you, you know, get used to it and practice is a great thing. So if you would like to change it up and do your own thing, do that. But this is the way I do it. And yeah, we are just changing the colors and using some of the same florals, and that's how we do it. So I am going to start off by doing a nice vibrant rose. So I'm going to be using some Winsor red, and I'm going to mix it with some darker alizarin crimson to make it a nice kind of dark, rich rose. And I actually want it a little darker to begin with. So I'm going to grab some black, put it over here so it's a bit darker in the middle. And we're going to start, again, shifting over to the side a little bit, not right in the center. We're going to do some little tiny squigglies, little curves with our dark red, like that. And then I'm going to start grabbing our brighter red, like that. A little bit of the darkness in there too. And we're just going to do a nice loose rose with these curved petals going around and around. Some shorter, kind of fluffier ones. I don't know if a rose could necessarily be fluffy, but that's the word I'm using to describe it. Short little fluffy roses, like so. Want a little bit more of that darkness in the center. If you don't have black, you could always add a little bit of green to your red, and that will also kind of do the same thing. It'll just darken up your red. Okay, and now I'm going to do an anemone. Or actually, do I want to make this a little bit bigger? See, I don't plan very well. I just kind of wing it a lot of the time. So if you haven't noticed already, yeah, I think we're going to just took off some of that pigment, and we're just making it a little bit lighter as we go out. Like so. All right, now I'm going to wash that off. And I am going to grab some really light Paynes gray for our anemone. So it's a white flower, but we're just going to water down Paynes gray because every white flower has an undertone of another color, right? So this one I'm choosing blue. Okay, I see there's a little bit of separation with my rose. I'm going to go back in and fix that in just a second. They're drying at a different rate, so I'm seeing a little bit of a line here. So I'm just going to lay down this anemone quickly. so I can go back and fix it before it completely dries. And I'm just doing these really loose, light petal shapes. And touching the rose just a little bit to get a bit of a color bleed. Okay, wash off my brush. I'm going to dry it. And this part is more wet than this part, so I'm just going to try and blend it out a bit better so we don't get that mark. There, that's a bit better. Let's hope. Okay, wash that off. And now I'm going to grab a bit more darker Paynes gray. And I'm just going to drag some lines to the center like this. All pointing towards the center where the stamen's going to be. Like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to tap a little bit around some of the edges, just a little bit. That's more than I wanted, but that's okay. Surprisingly drying really fast in my office today. Not sure why. Not a fan of that rose necessarily. I feel like it looks a little wonky. Just going to go back over it with some red. Didn't blend out as well as I wanted it to. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing again. Make it the same amount of wetness. There. Just so it looks a little bit, I don't know. It was just kind of bugging me. Just trying to make it a little bit more even. You can always go back in with a bit darker color. There. I wanted it nice and rich anyway, so it's okay that we're going over it like that. Okay. And then we are going to do another anemone down here. And we're going to balance out the red so it's not too much white by, actually, you know what, before we do that, I'm just going to grab some greenery because I want it to bleed into my anemone a bit and into the rose. So I'm just going to grab some perylene green and I'm just going to go in between the petals here. And then over here. And in between. Like so. And then you can even just add a little bit of green in there. And then we will go in here and add our next anemone. Okay, so again, our light blue. This one's going to be pointing down. So the petals are going to be pointing towards the center here. And because it's going to be kind of like white heavy, white flower heavy with these two anemones, I'm going to balance out the red by adding some red berries on this side. And that's how I'm going to grab, because I don't want it to be symmetrical where it's like red, white, white, red, like, or red, white, where it's like too symmetrical. That just looks a little weird. So we're going to balance it out by not doing another flower, but bringing the red over, but just making it berries. So it doesn't look, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Like that. Okay. We're going to break these two anemones up by doing some red berries right in here. See this? I should actually use my smaller brush. That's okay. Just using some of the Winsor red. Like that. See how you bring it over? I'm actually going to change my brush so I can use a smaller one for this part. And then I'm actually just going to grab some darker red here. Tap it in the berries a little bit. And then take a little bit of that pigment off. And I'm just going to make it a little bit, do some slightly lighter ones. Just by touching the other berries. See that? How it touches it so they bleed into each other and they get a little bit of that red color. But it also just kind of adds a little bit of dimension with the difference in the values is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we have a little sprig of berries here. I don't want too many highlights. I'm just leaving a little bit of white to get a bit of a highlight on the berries, but it doesn't have to be on all of them. Okay. See how we kind of balanced out those colors? And I'm also going to just grab a little bit of green and just pop it in here. And then we can grab some brown to get the stem for the berries. Just gently with your smaller brush, just kind of connecting them all like that. And if you want to like add some extra twigs and then some smaller berries too even. I'm going to grab a little bit of red. Like that. Cute. Okay. Then we're going to start adding some more greenery in. I'm going to start adding more of this darker greenery, my perylene green. I love it. It's like a wintry kind of green. And I'm just going to start, and we're just going to start building around these flowers. Like that. Okay, and then it feels a little bare here too. I feel like we could add, I was going to do berries, but now I'm thinking about it, maybe some pine cones right there. Because we've balanced out the colors, but we could use like a different color here to break this up. I also just want to pop in a little bit of green right here just to separate these anemones. Just a little bit of pine or something just poking out there. There. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to grab my size 6 brush and we're going to grab some burnt umber. And we're going to flip this upside down because the pine cones are going to be pointing down. And I find it just easier to do it this way. But if it feels better the other way, totally do whatever works for you. And we're going to do 2 pine cones. We're just doing these kind of like teardrop shapes. Just around it. And you're just going to kind of go down in the shape of a cone, a pine cone. Leaving white space in between. And I'm just kind of drawing it with the tip of my brush. Like that. And I'm going to do another one. A little bit taller, pointing a different way. One thing I like to think about when I'm doing my bouquets is having things not parallel, but kind of on angles. They just, when a bouquet, you're thinking of all these flowers kind of all coming together and they would never be side by side. They would always kind of be coming in to one another. So think of it like that. Even with these pine cones, they're coming in on angles. If you put them side by side, it will look odd. And then we can just do like little pine sprigs after. I'm just going to grab some darker brown. You can always add a little bit of black to your brown if you want. I'm just going to tap it in the base of those little marks that we made. Like that. Then I'm just going to do tiny little pines just coming, just to kind of fill up the area just a little bit. We're going to do some bigger ones after too. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to do some more greenery. We need some over here. We need some over here. We could even do some like holly. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Holly. I'm like, is it holly? Okay, I'm going to grab some sap green this time. We can you know, change it up, do some holly leaves. So I'm going to just slightly turn it this way, and I'm going to do one coming this way and one coming this way. So I'm going to start off with a line, and I'm just going to gently do these kind of pointy holly leaves like that. Fill it in. I've never done holly in a bouquet before, so let's hope this looks decent. I don't know if it will. I love winging it on camera. You never know if it's going to work out. That was sarcasm. I hate winging it on camera. Sometimes I wish I came up with a plan, but my mind does not work like that. And then one over here. I'm just going to make this a little bit shorter. I feel like that green is just too bright. We're going to add some darker bits in there in a second. It's too bright of a green. I feel like I could have added some berries in here. So I'm just going to lift this up. I'm going to leave some space for berries. I was not thinking. Okay. Just going to go around like we're going to add berries thereafter. Okay. Just leaving a bit of space. Okay, now I'm going to grab some darker green just because I feel like that green is way too bright. And I'm just going to go around the edges. Do I like this? Do I not like this? I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's see if I can fix this, guys. Watch this. Watch this. Watch me attempt to fix this. Okay, I'm just... did I ruin this whole painting? Nope, I didn't. I didn't. Watch. Watch this. Watch this magic. Lifting up the color. I did not like that. I'm going to fix it. Watch this. Okay, just taking clean water. I'm gently scrubbing. And we're going to go over that with something else. So you can't even see it. Okay. You guys are watching real time in the making. Okay, we're gonna leave that area just for a minute. I'm gonna grab some more paper towel. And we're going to try again. I'm just going to let that area dry first. There are some marks, but we can cover that. That's no problem. Let's focus on this side. I feel like maybe we'll have some berries. I didn't like the holly leaves. We tried it, didn't like it. So I feel like maybe I'll do some more of these thicker leaves after, and then we'll cover it with some pine. Keeping it simple. Keeping it simple is the theme of today. Okay, yeah, I did not like the holly leaves. I've never really been a fan of holly, so that's a thing. I'm going to do some pine, I think, over here. So I'm going to start with some brown. Okay. A stem. Okay, and then maybe one over here. And I'm going to just take some green, maybe some olivey green too. And I'm just going to start creating some pine needles. I feel like I want more of an olive green. I don't know. And we're just flicking these light lines like that. Ooh, you know what I will add, I think? Magnolia leaf branches. Those are beautiful leaves. And they're like brownish orange. And I think they'll go really nicely with this. We're going to do that instead of holly. Is my plan. Because I did not like the way that went. I'm just adding some darker color. Like that. And we will do some over there. I'm going to have some come out over here, I think. Well, where am I going to have the magnolia branches? I think, okay, I want to do some of the darker green here. Just to balance it out a bit. Okay, because it's like everywhere else. I don't like how perfectly pointed that leaf is. There we go. I feel like I need another little one here or something. Okay, then I'm gonna grab some burnt umber. I'm gonna bring it over here. We're gonna grab a little bit of reddish. Yeah, like a bit of red. Burnt on, maybe a little bit of yellow too, to make it more of an orangey brown. That was too much. Get more brown. Get a bit more red. Make it warmer. More brown. Okay, let's see. And we can add a bit of darkness too. And I'm just going to, there we go. See that pretty brownish color? Like that. And then we're going to darken it a bit. Hold on. With like a bit of darker red. You can just tap it in the bottom, or even just like a bit of darker brown and dark red. Maybe a little bit of darkness up the middle. Yeah, I love the magnolia color. Those leaves are so pretty. Just gonna blend this out a bit. Gonna bring some over here. Have one come over behind this leaf. I feel like it needs a bit more darkness. A bit more reddish brown. Like that. And then some down here to kind of balance it out as well. I feel like I need to make more of that color. Red. Whoops, I should have washed it before I put it in the yellow, but that's okay because you can just rinse it with your brush after. A bit of darker brown. Okay, I'm gonna do it over here. I love this like warm brown color. It's so pretty. Just going around that pine cone. And let a little bit more of the dark. Okay, now we'll start filling in with some more of the pine to really kind of shape the way we want it to look. Okay, I'm gonna grab some brown, just place where I want those little pine things to be. We could do more berries too. I feel like we need more pine needles down here. Just gonna turn it slightly. That. Have some coming out there. Just gonna keep on turning it. like that. Over here, the pine is kind of like our fillers. Like that. Up here too. That. I think I'm going to add some of the berries here before I add a bit more pine. Taking off some of that pigment, letting it touch, so we can create some lighter values. Like that, get a bit of the darker red. And then we can add some of our branches. Just grab whatever brown. And then we can fill this area in with some pine as well. One second. Wanted it to be shorter. Like that. And I think that's good. We are gonna, oh, we need to fill in right here too. I feel like we could do a bit more of those darker green leaves, just to balance it a bit. And then I'm just going to lighten one up just to make it a little bit lighter. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to do the center of the anemones. So I'm going to grab some Paynes gray. We're going to start by doing a circle. Like that. And then we're going to do whatever way the longer leaves are pointing, you're going to do longer. Oops, that's too long, but that's fine. Longer little lines. Like that. And then as you come around the other side, they're going to be tiny little short lines. And then at the end of the little lines, you're going to do some dots. And then just shorter on the side. Okay, and then do the same thing for the other one. Kind of like an oval shape. Longer lines on this side. And then shorter on the other. And then our dots. Like that. Okay. And then I feel like they look a little flat, so we could always just take a light wash of the Paynes gray and just do some lines kind of going up the middle with a really light wash. I just said that. Just to give it a little bit of texture. Okay. Because they're looking a little bit flat. And just curve those lines gently so they move with the shape of the anemone. And you can even have a couple lines coming down from the top. Just little, would be the shadows of the creases in the petals. Okay, like that. And then I feel like, I don't know why, I just want to add some lines to our leaves. So I'm just going to grab our brown for the magnolia leaves. And I'm just going to do little lines up the center. I feel like those are too dark. There, just light lines just to give it a little shape. Like that. And then I think I'm going to do the same with the green ones as well. Like that. You can even do like little veins on them if you like. You don't have to. Like that. There we go. And I think I'm just going to do a little bit more pine right here where we kind of made that mistake. And then you can even see that we had like holly leaves there earlier. See, you can fix things. And there we go. There is our December bouquet. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Please, if you guys have any suggestions for a series you'd like me to do next year, something I can do monthly. I've done birth month flowers. I've done this. I did something else. I can't remember anything at the moment. But if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my other platforms for tons more content. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.